Chosen one, you've got people crashing out over you while you remain calm, untouchable, and completely protected. 40444, for divine confirmation. Something powerful is unfolding in the spiritual realm right now, and it's shaking those who once tried to shake you. They expected you to lose your mind, to react, to fight back. Instead, you moved in silence, trusting divine timing. They're spiraling while you sit in serenity, knowing God already handled what you never had to. Some even turn to manipulation and dark energy, trying to tap into your frequency, but every attempt backfired. You're shielded. Their chaos can't touch you, and that's why they're losing it. You're calm, centered, and ascending beyond their reach. People are scared of you, and it has nothing to do with threats or intimidation. The terror exists because you possess something that will never be available to them. Calmness in chaos, peace in warfare, focus in distraction. You embody an energy that can't be comprehended. When hurt was inflicted, an emotional reaction was expected. Screaming matches and public call-outs were anticipated. The hope was you'd stoop to a certain level, so justification could happen, and you could be painted as the villain in a carefully crafted story. But you never gave that satisfaction. You chose a different path. You chose to let divine justice handle it, and now guilt sits heavy. Paranoia grows, fear expands, because deep down everyone knows what was done was wrong. Everyone knows karma is real, and everyone knows it's coming. What's wild is that many are acting out over the guilt being carried. For those too narcissistic or low vibrational to even feel guilty, stress is building because time is running out. The shift can be sensed, the spiritual scales balancing can be felt, and panic is setting in. You're not experiencing bad karma, you're going through a transformation. There's a massive difference between having bad karma and ridding yourself of people and energies that no longer serve you. You're a light worker, a healer. You're constantly changing and evolving. That means there are going to be seasons where you're forced to cut cords and let go, whether through conscious choice or tower moments. And when you go through these elevation processes, people from your past can feel you breaking free. You letting go so that God can give you the blessings you deserve while others get the karma earned can be sensed. Right now, certain people are going haywire and may not even realize why. The reason is this: you're cutting cords and access to your energy no longer exists. As a light worker and healer, your energy is meant to be transmuted, and it's meant to help people who appreciate it. But there have been times where people went down the wrong path and became attached to your energy in unhealthy ways. Feeding was happening, draining was constant, you were being used as a spiritual battery, and now that you're pulling away, withdrawal is being experienced. It's not going to feel comfortable for you when you let go of these energies and people. You might feel tired, you might feel heavy, you might wonder why exhaustion hits when you're barely doing anything. But understand this, that exhaustion is protection. It keeps you out of situations and away from people you're not meant to engage with. Your sensitivity prevents involvement in things that would take you off your path. So when that tiredness appears, honor it, rest, recharge. You're not being lazy, you're being divinely redirected. You're being called creepy or weird by some because you're so calm and focused on yourself. I know that sounds strange, but the reason this is unsettling is because of your power. When you're silent, when you're doing nothing, extreme threat can still be felt by others. Your energy is loud even when your mouth is quiet. Whether you're speaking your mind or staying silent, problems are created for certain people, because your very presence carries weight. And I've got to tell you something that's going to click everything into place. Your power truly intimidates, and there's a specific reason why that matters right now. People are crashing out over your calmness because something is known that you might be forgetting in your moments of doubt. When you realize who you really are, there's nothing you can't accomplish. Goals have been heard discussed. Glimpses of your potential have been witnessed. Everyone knows that if you keep going, you're going to achieve everything you set out to do, and that terrifies more than anything, because your success is proof wrong information was spread about you. Your elevation exposes stagnation in others. Your growth highlights excuses being made elsewhere. There are people who are praying for your downfall. Hope existed that you wouldn't get started. Hope lingered that focus would be lost. Hope remained that the obstacles thrown in your path would break you completely. But here's what's causing lost sleep. You're still here. You're calm and focused on your work and your craft. Even if breaks were taken or vacation happened or you just started doing you, your absence is being misinterpreted. Maybe your running is the thought. Maybe you're scared is the assumption. Maybe the energy thrown actually worked is the desperate hope. But the truth is devastatingly simple for everyone watching. You're just focused and busy. You see no value in giving time and energy to people who aren't supporting your purpose or who are actively distracting you from it. You naturally have discernment, a spiritual detector for what's worth your energy and what isn't. And right now, certain people aren't registering on your radar. That's what's really creating the freakout. Not that you're fighting back, but that you're not fighting at all. You're just continuing with what's important, and something is happening behind the scenes that's about to make this all make sense. There's a huge karmic season coming, and good karma is heading your way. But for certain people, their karma is arriving in ways never expected. Someone thought getting away with what was done to you would be easy. Someone expected you to retaliate or act out after everything that was pulled. And your calmness is disturbing on a spiritual level, because divine protection is known. Many people are acting out over guilt being carried. Others who are too disconnected to feel guilt are stressed because sensing is happening, that time is coming, and not in a good way. Your success is karma for others. Sometimes the best revenge is just becoming everything you were told you'd never be. There are people out there who are speaking behind your back saying you're never going to get started on that. You're never going to leave your comfort zone. You're always going to be stuck. Attachment to former versions of you exists because growth and change don't happen for everyone. The desire is to believe the same about you. But when you start to speak your truth and it doesn't want to be heard, when you move on with your life and actual achievement is witnessed, fear arrives, because things have been said about people around them or the path being traveled, and no one else can be blamed. There's somebody who God and angels were trying to reach through you. You were brought in to help see something or expose something, but the message wasn't received. Not only that, retaliation against you may have even happened, and now consequences are being dealt with. Somebody feels like you caught them in the act, caught them with their mask off, caught them in their true nature, and continuation in this energy, while thinking success will follow, isn't going to work. The universe doesn't operate that way. If this message awakens something within you, hype this video for other chosen ones who need to hear this. Now this is where it gets really interesting. I'm picking up that people were trying to get readings on you in the past. Some may have even paid spiritual workers to try to do something to you, or find out information about you. And here's what happened. The real practitioners, the ones with actual discernment, said no, this person is protected, was the message. This person isn't doing anything against you, was stated. This person is just focusing on themselves, was confirmed, and warnings were given not to mess with you. There's an energy of someone going to a spiritual worker and trying to claim you're texting or bothering them or something like that. And this practitioner responded with no. This person is different. This person isn't the type to just react. This person calmly waits for direction from higher level energies. You're someone who works with divine forces, not someone who operates from ego and revenge. And when that spiritual worker defended you or refused to work against you, fear struck the person who came to them. Because now the realization exists that manipulation of the spiritual realm, the way the physical gets manipulated, isn't possible. The person who tried to use spiritual means against you is now terrified because understanding has arrived that messing with the wrong one happened. Just because someone claims to be a spiritual practitioner or even appears successful doesn't mean working with the right energies is happening or that knowing what's being done is real. Just because someone appears seemingly successful in this physical reality doesn't mean good intentions exist. There are different energies and methods people use to appear successful, but karma always comes, and it's coming on God's timing, which is different from what gets expected. There are people trying to latch themselves onto you right now to prevent karma from happening to them. An intuitive knowing exists that you're divinely protected. Some actually know it for a fact. So the feeling is, if attachment to you can happen, being under your protection bubble becomes possible. But here's what isn't realized. Access was lost the moment your bubble got popped. The moment an attempt was made to drag you out of your divine protection into chaos created by others. Access to you was lost, and that's known. This is somebody who's probably not communicating with you right now. Watching from a distance is happening. And fear exists because your name is the name that gets called out in the darkest hour, not the person who tried to pull away from you. Deep down, everyone knows if things really hit the fan, you're the one who could help. And that's also connected to your spiritual gifts. Your words are well respected. When you say something, weight gets carried, manifestation happens, and someone is increasingly becoming more afraid of the power you hold. It's not that you're trying to hold power over anybody, but your words have power, your gifts have power, and God trusted you with this next level of abilities because using and abusing them the way others would isn't your way. You refuse to play manipulation games. You come at people with your rawness, your realness. That doesn't mean strategy doesn't exist in your movements. It doesn't mean emotional reactions happen to everything. Being authentic doesn't mean revealing all your cards. You could be moving in silence right now, being methodical about your life and purpose. But that's different from going out of your way to spiritually or physically manipulate something to go in your favor. That's just not how movement happens when you're on a God-given path. Now let me tell you about something that's making certain people absolutely lose their minds. Someone still has a connection to you. This could be romantic, or it could be friendship, or even family. But there's a bond here, and the more this person grows and matures, the more realization comes that you were right about things. Reflecting back on the relationship with you, the situation with you, everything had with you is happening, and understanding is dawning why you made the choices you made, why you saw the world the way you did. The more growth happens, the more realization arrives that you were right, and the more maturity develops, the more love for you grows. This is a past life connection. You have pretty strong bonds with certain people. Sometimes your soulmate connections don't always move in the right direction. You probably incarnated together to help people evolve and grow and vice versa. But not everybody goes the right way. Somebody went down the wrong path. Something or someone else got chosen, and a third party worked overtime to keep you two apart. This third party manipulated situations. Doubt got planted. Lies about you got fed to this person. Everything in power was done to make sure this divine connection didn't flourish. And for a time it worked. This person is maturing. Waking up is occurring. Seeing through the manipulation is beginning. And as spiritual and emotional growth happens, love for you grows stronger, because recognition is happening that the bond between you two is spiritual. It's deeper than physical attraction or convenience. There's a spiritual reason you were brought together, and no matter how hard someone tried to spin the narrative or get this person away from you, that bond is pulling back. The third party can feel it. Going to readers trying to get reassurance that hold on, this person is still strong is happening. But it's not. That bond was damaged by trying to get you out of the picture. There's an energy of someone feeling like you caught them, like you saw their true face. For some this is literal. Someone was cheating or doing something behind your back, and discovery happened. But for others this is more spiritual. You saw through the mask, you called out patterns, you spoke truth that didn't want to be heard, and now facing you is impossible, because knowing exists that you know who someone really is. That's why fear exists. That's why avoidance happens. That's why paranoia about you runs deep. The thought exists that you're plotting some kind of retaliation. Some of you actually are planning ways to defend yourself. Maybe legally, maybe spiritually, maybe you're just working on pulling your power back behind the scenes, and it's freaking people out because the shifts and changes you're going through can be felt and sensed. Sensing is happening that you're no longer worried about them. You're worried about yourself, your future, the people you love, your purpose, and that shift in focus is more threatening than any direct confrontation would be. Here's what isn't understood. You have a calmness because you know God sees everything. You don't need to keep your hand in every basket or have eyes everywhere. You don't need to be paranoid or stay up reading cards on everybody. You know that if something needs to be brought to your attention, it will be. The truth is, these energies are so irrelevant to you that checking in on them isn't even happening. But that doesn't mean what's coming to them for messing with you isn't on its way. For some of you, this karma has been building for a very long time. You can't hide from the things done. So the thought is fear of you exists, but the actual fear is of the whole Doug personally. You see things other people don't see. You feel things other people don't feel. You know things without being told. That discernment is both a blessing and a burden. It's a blessing because it keeps you safe. It shows you true intentions. But it's a burden because it isolates you. It makes relationships complicated, and it puts a target on your back from people who operate in darkness. People are scared that you see through them. Fear exists that you know what someone is really about. Terror builds that you can sense energy and motives. So attempts get made to make you doubt yourself. You get called crazy. Gaslighting happens. But you've learned to trust that inner voice. You've learned to honor your discernment. Some people ask what you pick up from them, as if your gifts are entertainment. But you're not here to perform. You're not here to give free readings to everyone who asks. Your gifts are sacred, meant to serve a higher purpose, and you get to choose when and how you use them. There's also this reality that your words carry weight. When you speak, things manifest. When you bless someone, blessings flow to them. When you warn someone, listening should happen. People know this about you. That's why some walk on eggshells around you. That's why some avoid you altogether. Knowledge exists that your voice is connected to something greater. Understanding is there that you're backed by forces that can't be comprehended. But you don't use your power to harm. You don't manipulate. You don't curse people who wrong you. You operate from integrity. You move with love. You speak with wisdom. And you trust that divine justice will handle what needs handling. The thought exists that you were successfully pushed out of something. A relationship, a job, a social circle, a family dynamic. The belief was victory happened when you were out of the picture and someone seemingly chose another path or went with someone else. But now watching is happening as someone matures and grows, and as this person evolves, reflecting on you more and more is occurring. Appreciation for you is growing. Understanding of what you brought to life is deepening, and nothing can be said or done to stop this. You cannot keep apart two well-intentioned high-vibrational soulmates. No matter how hard attempts were made to pull you and this person apart, there's a spiritual bond that nobody can break, and it's someone's karma to sit and watch this person fall out of love with them and back in love with you. This isn't about romance necessarily. This is about divine connections, partnerships that were meant to happen on a business level, or friendship level, or creative level. There's a love here that transcends categories, and someone dragged somebody away from you. But escape attempts are being made now. If blocking of the front door is happening, a way out the window is being found. This is destiny. There's an energy between you and somebody that's unresolved on one end. Again, there's more than one energy here. But there's definitely someone from your past who realizes wrong was done to you. And people are scared of you because you're not one to be messed with. After someone showed their true face, blocking happened, and dealing with them stopped. And fear exists because knowledge is there that nothing can be said or done to earn your trust back or have you back in life. That's the power you hold. Sometimes it's not in the fight, it's in the calm stage. When you're just doing you, even when you're down and minding your own business, that's when you're most powerful because you're not paying anyone any attention. You're just focusing on yourself. Now let me put you onto something real. Destiny Engine. I built this because I was done watching chosen ones get dragged through betrayal, isolation and attacks while their enemies strutted around unchecked. I want to help you accelerate the speed of your divine justice and step fully into your purpose. And the beauty of it, you don't even have to lift a finger. Destiny Engine takes their downfall and flips it into your rise. This isn't another meditation app. It's declassified consciousness technology. The same mind programming tools your enemies once used to install fear, competition and scarcity re-engineered to restore your sovereignty and align you with the cooperative, upgraded operating framework. It generates personalized sequences mapped to your divine purpose. The hardest thing you'll do is put on headphones, press play, and watch your enemies keep digging their own grave. The collective upgrade is underway. Start your destiny engine for $1 today and turn everything they did to break you into fuel for your rise. Link in the description. Your energy has changed dramatically. You've evolved. You're not the same person you were before. You've grown spiritually. You've matured emotionally. You've developed a deeper connection with your higher power. And people can feel that shift. It makes them uncomfortable because attachment still exists to the old version of you. The desire is for you to stay small. The want is for you to stay stuck. The need is for you to stay accessible to dysfunction. But you've outgrown that. You've moved beyond it, and acceptance of this is hard. Some people thought control over you was possible. The thought was you were known. The belief was you were figured out. But you changed the game. You stepped into a new frequency. You accessed a level of power and wisdom that wasn't known to exist. And now scrambling is happening. Going to readers is occurring. Checking your social media is constant. Asking mutual friends about you is happening. Obsession exists with figuring out how you became so untouchable. The funny thing is, nothing dramatic was done by you. You just chose yourself. You chose your peace. You chose your purpose. And that simple choice shifted everything. Boredom and misery existed in personal lives. Nothing is going on. No goals. No growth. No purpose. So time gets spent watching you. Your light. Your potential. And people see in you sometimes things you don't see in yourself. Your biggest haters are sometimes your biggest fans, because knowing exists about what you're capable of. Glimpses of your gifts have been seen, your power is understood, and terror exists because if you fully step into who you're meant to be, you'll outshine everyone. You'll achieve things that can only be dreamed about by others. You'll reach heights that will never get touched by certain people. Someone is in love with you. And no matter how hard someone else tries to spin the narrative or get this person away from you, it's not working long term. That situation is getting calmer now. Attempting to still sneak back into your life is happening. You may have nothing to do with this or don't care, but the situation could involve someone who thought successful elimination of you as competition happened. The thought was when you were out of the picture, victory occurred. But watching is happening as someone matures right in front of eyes, and the more this person grows, the more realization comes about why you were the right person. It's interesting because somebody's getting calmer and fear exists. The thought was victory happened when you disappeared, and this person seemingly chose a different path or went with someone else. But watching is occurring as someone's love for you grows stronger with time. Nothing can be said or done to keep you away from connections that are right for you. This is a spiritual lesson for everyone involved. You may not even want any of these people in your life anymore. You may not care. But it's about this person being afraid because something was done. Readers were consulted. Everything in power was said and done to keep someone away from you. But there was a spiritual reason you and this person were brought together. There's a situation where somebody played victim a lot in dealings with you, and realization is now happening that doing that was wrong. Someone played innocent to get what was wanted. It was easy if done right. But you refused to play that manipulation game. You came at people with authenticity. That doesn't mean strategy doesn't exist in how you move. That doesn't mean emotional reactions happen to everything. Authenticity isn't about revealing all your cards. You could be moving in silence right now, being methodical about your life and purpose. But that's different from going out of your way to manipulate something to go in your favor spiritually or physically. You just do what God directs you to do. You manifest with love the things that you desire and that benefit others. You don't harm anybody. Some of you have a mentality of do as you will but harm none. You don't care what people believe in. You don't care what people have going on. Just don't hurt people. That's it. But some people will hurt and stomp over whoever and whatever to get what's wanted. And someone tried to hurt or stomp over you to get what was wanted. Now fear exists because you never retaliated the way you could have. but your retaliation is coming in the form of something thought to be successfully gotten from you. It's going to go worse than imagined. It's almost like someone thinking competition with you exists for an entry-level position when you were the boss the whole time. That's the energy. This person thought competition existed for a space in someone's life, when in reality that person looks up to you. Never being on the same playing field was the reality. It was never going to be them. This person never stopped watching you, never stopped caring about you. But seeing you higher is the truth. You're on a different level, and the third party is realizing this too late. Going to spiritual work has happened, and things got heard that weren't wanted. Being told you're protected was the message. Being told you're anointed was stated. Being told messing with you is a mistake was confirmed. Some practitioners straight up refused to work against you. And when that happened, reality hit. Realization came that the spiritual realm recognizes something about you that attempts were made to deny. You have a high vibration. People can feel and sense that sometimes your purpose is higher or your calling is higher, especially when it comes to relationships with certain people, where the feeling is it should be them and not you. Retaliation against you happens even if seeing it at the time doesn't occur, because a lot of times people have these low vibrational feelings and emotions, but manipulation of the energy happens, or manipulation of you into believing you need to improve, you need to change, there's something wrong with you occurs, when entirely it's them. When you look at life circumstances, patterns, the truth becomes obvious. Someone is going through a tower moment right now, especially in the workplace or in a relationship dynamic. The wrong path got taken. Here's the thing. A lot of people believe just because ability exists or just because getting something out of it happens, that means it's right, including going in the wrong direction. You could steal money from somebody and become richer. Does that mean successfully getting more money happened? Yes. Does that make it good? Does that make it part of God's plan? No. You've been faced with opportunities to be corrupt. You never took them. But certain people, just because ability exists to have something not had before, think that's a sign movement in that direction must happen. That's wild. Right now you're in one of your most powerful phases, even if you feel like it doesn't happen, even when feeling weak occurs, even when feeling tired hits, even when feeling like giving up arrives. You're powerful because you're still here, you're still fighting, you're still believing, and that persistence is what separates you from everyone else. You don't quit, you don't give up, you don't let temporary setbacks define your destiny. You get knocked down and you get back up. You rest when needed, you cry when needed, you process when needed, but you never stay down. You always rise again. And people are terrified of that resilience. Everything was thrown at you thinking breaking would happen. You were watched struggling with the thought crumbling would occur, but you didn't. You transformed. You used the pain as fuel. You used the betrayal as a lesson. You used the obstacles as stepping stones. And now you're stronger than you've ever been. You're wiser than you've ever been. You're more aligned than you've ever been. And handling it isn't possible for certain people. Some of you have been experiencing a high dose of spiritual attack in your mentality. Thoughts of wanting to give up. Depression. Just keep praying through it. It's going to pass. All this energy has pushed so hard on you because of the way people who were working overtime to take you out are now getting calmer. It's like a whiplash of energy. You're actually winning and succeeding and breaking free. Maybe you got started on something people thought you'd never do. Maybe you actually moved on or moved away. Maybe you just changed in a way that's scaring people. And when you do these things, initially feeling good might happen, but then you get hit with a whiplash of past people being mad, being upset that latching back onto you can't happen, that you're letting go, that you're finally doing what God put you here to do. While other people are getting their karma, you're getting your rewards. While loss is being experienced by some, you're experiencing gain. While tower moments are happening to certain people, you're going through elevation. The universe is balancing the scales. Everything that was taken from you is being returned with interest. Every tear you cried is being turned into triumph. Every hurt you endured is being transformed into healing. Every setback you faced is being converted into a setup for something greater. You're about to see the fruits of your labor. All those times you chose to do the right thing when no one was watching. All those times you helped someone who couldn't help you back. All those times you kept going when wanting to give up was strong. All those times you chose love over hate, forgiveness over bitterness, faith over fear. It's all coming back to you, and your mind is going to be blown. People are going to see you win and wonder how you did it. Seeing you blessed will make them question why. Seeing you thriving will make them try to figure out your secret. But there's no secret. There's no shortcut. There's no hack. You just stayed true to yourself. You just kept the faith. You just trusted the process. You just let divine timing do its thing. That's it. That's the formula. And it works every single time for those who walk in integrity. This is your season of vindication. This is your season of restoration. This is your season of manifestation. Everything you've been praying for is aligning. Everything you've been working toward is materializing. Everything you've been hoping for is happening. And the best part, you don't even have to force it. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to manipulate it into existence. It's flowing to you naturally because you're in alignment. You're vibrating at the right frequency, and you're ready to receive. The world isn't ready for you, but you're ready for the world, and that's all that matters. Now go show them what a chosen one looks like when understanding of power finally happens. Go show them what divine protection looks like in action. Go show them what happens when someone stops playing small and steps fully into destiny. A reaction was wanted, give them elevation. Drama was wanted, give them success. Wanting you to crash was the goal. Show them how you saw. This is your time. This is your season. This is your moment. And nobody, absolutely nobody can take that from you. So let them crash out. You've got kingdoms to build.